And after a day of hard talk with his Chinese counterpart Li Keqiang in Beijing, the Prime Minister is now in Shanghai, and these are live images that we get to you of the Prime Minister interacting with top CEOs of Chinese companies in Shanghai even as we speak. The Prime Minister arrived in Shanghai. He got a rousing welcome late last evening. This is the third and final leg of his 3-day visit to China. He's also to address the Indian community later this afternoon before he leaves for Mongolia and South Korea. That's the second and third part of his 3-nation tour. The Prime Minister will inaugurate the Center for Gandhian Studies at the prestigious Fudan University in Shanghai later today. But this is an extremely important meeting. Pictures of this meeting now on your television screen. It's the Prime Minister's Make in India dream. Can this become a reality, and how? Yesterday, the Prime Minister held talks with the Chinese Premier Li Keqiang in Beijing, and day before yesterday with the Chinese President Xi Jinping in Xi'an. Both the countries have signed 24 agreements worth $10 billion, and that dream now has to become a reality of Chinese investment in India, and this is an uphill task given the growing trade deficit. The Prime Minister yesterday had raised the issue of border dispute. He also sought Chinese investment in India and spoke of Chinese investments in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. At Beijing's Temple of Heaven, after a performance of yoga and Tai Chi by students, the Prime Minister took selfies with Chinese Premier Li Keqiang. Now, students mobbed the two Prime Ministers, and they were seen furiously taking selfies with the Prime Minister. Now, within an hour, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg, including there were about 183,000 likes on the Prime Minister's selfie with the Chinese Premier. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Chinese Premier Li Keqiang spent the afternoon watching students practice yoga and Tai Chi. Headlines today's Rahul Kanwal and Smita Sharma bring you this report.
Centuries ago, ancient Chinese emperors used to pay tribute to gods for good harvest at the Temple of Heaven in Beijing. On Friday, it became a site for Tai Chi and diplomacy, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chinese Premier Li Keqiang spent the afternoon watching students practice Tai Chi, a softened version of martial arts practiced for health benefits. The two leaders stood in awe as the students performed. Prime Minister Modi even advocated the benefits of yoga to the Chinese.
Yoga, tan, मन और बुद्धि तीनों को संतुलित रखने की कला है। और आज जब विश्व मानसिक तनाव से गुजर रहा है, तो उस समस्या से मुक्ति का मार्ग है योग।
The Prime Minister and the Chinese Premier are above at the Temple of Heaven. Very serene, very beautiful, one of Beijing's main landmarks. And the Prime Minister spoke about International Yoga Day on the 21st of June. And the Chinese Premier immediately said that he hopes that China will be supported by India in its quest for an International Tai Chi Day. He wants to build on that, and he's hoping that India will support him.
Tai Chi performance over, the Prime Ministers of the world's two biggest countries leaned on each other for a political power-packed selfie. Prime Minister Narendra Modi pulled out a smartphone, extended his arm and cozied up with the Chinese Premier for the shot, and quickly tweeted the photo. The political power selfie got a like from Mark Zuckerberg on Facebook and even went viral on Weibo, registering close to 8,000 RTs in just 40 minutes. At the Kingdom of Heaven, Prime Minister Modi seemed to be on a selfie-clicking spree, happily obliging young Chinese students who swarmed around him. Earlier in the day, the Prime Minister was at his charming best at Shanghai University.
Niman Chued, Woshua Chungwan, Kaibu Kai. Kaima.
For his young audience, it was a speech crafted to capture the future.
About 33% of the world's population is either Indian or Chinese. Yet, our people know very little of each other. We must seek inspiration from the pilgrims of the ancient times who braved the unknown in search of knowledge and enrich us both. So we have decided to extend electronic tourist visa to Chinese nationals.
And how did you find his speech? What did you make of it?
Well, I think Mr. Prime Minister is a very passionate person, and his speech is very inspiring, and he talked about the cooperations between two countries, and I look forward to.
The 21st century is the century of Asia altogether, and I used to know that Asia is a country with great culture and civilization, but today through his speech I know that India is also a country, a superpower, also in economy.
Fitted between the non-stop protocol, day 2 was the crux of Prime Minister Modi's visit.
Students out here, they thought that it was very impressive of the Prime Minister to have begun his address, of course, in Chinese itself. It is another of, in fact, Mr. Modi's signature style. When he goes out to a country, he tries speaking their language, at least uttering a few sentences, a few phrases there. And he has definitely seemed to have made an impact on the students at one of China's premier university, Tsinghua. With video journalist Ashok Bhano, this is Smita Sharma for Headlines Today.